This episode of Life After Injury has been brought to you by Fornos Law Firm, devoted to optimizing your legal results.
Welcome to Pushrim Life After Injury podcast. This is episode 13. I'm Ray Pizarro.
I'm Boris Del Cid.
I'm Richard Bell.
We'd like to welcome everyone once again for being part of the discussion here on the Pushrim Network. Today on the show, we'll be talking about
fitness and exercise.
Fitness and exercise. That's right. So in that, we have a very special guest, a good friend of ours that finally made it in studio, Kristin McNealus. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Hey.
Thank you for coming.
That's right. Thanks a lot, Kristin. So, Kristin, you want to kick us off and maybe share with our audience a little bit about yourself, how you got started, and your story.
Of course.
Cool.
I'm a physical therapist. I went to school in Boston University, and I think I may have been one of the few people who went to physical therapy school to work with people with spinal cord injury. So I graduated, and I do enjoy inpatient rehab. I like to show newly injured people how to move again. So I worked in a couple of inpatient rehabs here in Southern California, and I also ran a community gym, which is actually where I met you guys.
That's right. Beyond Injury back in the day.
That's where it all got started.
Yes. And I've been doing my career for nearly 9 years now, and what I'm noticing is that there's just so many changes going on with our insurance system. And unfortunately, people aren't getting everything that they need before they leave the hospital. A lot of it's being put on outpatient, and the resources are just getting thinner and thinner. So I started an exercise class because I wanted people to come out and do something healthy and meet other people and talk to each other while exercising.
Great idea. I mean, that's part of rehab in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. It's a good adjunct to your therapy. It's good to do it while you're still going to therapy, as well as then continue on after your therapy is done.
Sweet.
Yeah, and that's actually how we kind of came up with the idea of Pushrim, because we were at your gym and working out, and then talking about, how do you do this? How do you do that? And everybody was so helpful that we were like, oh, we should put this online. Yeah. So what are you doing now?
So I did start a exercise class, as I said, that I run twice a week. And because it was so popular and I was getting so much positive feedback, I have put it online so people can access it from home. Because we were lucky enough to have a beautiful adaptive gym, and we still are. We have quite a few here in Southern California, but not everybody has those. I've heard of states that have maybe one. And if you have to drive hours to get to a gym, you may not be motivated to get there.
That's the thing, transportation. How many of us have adaptive vehicles when we just get hurt to be able to go and attend these things?
And if you're relying on paratransit, like our access services, it's a great service, but we know the limitations of it, and you might not be going somewhere that's not as necessary as a doctor's appointment. Mm-hmm. So people might not be taking that to the gym just to get their exercise in.
Right.
Yeah.
Boris, do you have anything you want?
Well, first of all, you did mention that you chose to be in SCI Treatment. Is that because of family members?
I don't have a good story about that. I actually started working with kids when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. They didn't necessarily have spinal cord injury. They just had any disability. And I think what I noticed is with spinal injury, there's still so much that you can do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be part of teaching people what there is still to do. And
that's how you decided that was, the part of PT that you wanted to get into. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And for our viewers, what is the actual website?
It's SCITotalFitness.com.
Which is our featured website today.
Of the day, correct.
That's right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what kind of basic exercises are good for people to try at home without, risk of injury or...
Excellent question, because what I hear a lot is people say, I don't want to wear out my shoulders, and shoulder pain is obviously a concern if you're using a wheelchair or transferring.
Definitely. Yeah.
So what you do when you're pushing your chair or transferring or walking with a walker is you're using all those muscles in the front of your shoulder. You're using a lot of the pecs, everything's getting tight. It's pulling those shoulder blades around. Mm-hmm. And then that's actually what causes the pain, because you're rubbing on those rotator cuff tendons. Mm-hmm. If you're reaching up, they're getting pinched. Mm-hmm. So you really want to focus on exercises in the back. because you're not using those for all your activities. So you want to make sure that you're doing those rows, you're doing those things that you're pulling down, your, lats, get everything in the back stronger. Make sure you're stretching too, which I know people tend to forget immediately.
Yeah, right,
you have to make an effort to stretch out those muscles in the front because they are getting stronger. And as they get stronger, they're going to get tighter.
And that's going to probably affect your posture too, right? You're
very much so. Yeah, you get that curved look. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to be able to push back. I know Richard also pushes backward up like different inclines, and that helps a lot because whatever back muscles we have, he's able to maximize that and make them, squeeze together back there.
Definitely.
Yeah, Ray's like, you're a freak of nature. But, one therapist, I don't know if it was you or somebody, told me about how important it was when I was doing rows at the gym to, work on your back. And I worked at that at the gym to the point where I guess my back is pretty strong. And so I did it out of necessity because I didn't have enough strength to push up the ramp, frontwards. So I would push backwards. So
that is impressive.
Well, it's just one of those things. Everybody's different, right?
Yep.
That's right.
And have you noticed a change in any shoulder pain?
Well, I don't get a lot of shoulder pain.
Because you're staying balanced.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Every now and then I get a tweak, but I have one of those shoulder massagers that you throw over your shoulders. And if I get a tweak, I put that on and it seems to work out. One time I got enough pain where it was, concerning. And my ex-girlfriend is a acupuncturist. So I called her over. She stuck some needles in me. And that actually helped. It really did help. So.
Oh, I believe in acupuncture.
Yeah, that stuff does work.
Well, I got a couple of questions for you. But when you do have a new client that is coming in for this, is an evaluation done?
For the exercise class, not so much of an evaluation as much of a discussion of their fitness level. The exercises that in the class forum are pretty self-directed. So you can push yourself as hard as you feel you can push yourself and take a rest as you need to. And I'm pretty good at gauging it. I'll start you lower than I think that you can handle just so you can ease into it. Okay. And then when you come back, you can let me know if you need a little bit more. So the same thing for the exercises at home because it is a video. Obviously, I'm not able to see one-on-one. I just generally tell people to start without any weight. The classes are formatted in a 45 to 55-minute cardio workout. So again, that's a very long time if you're not fit.
Right.
So
try it without any weight. See how you feel, and then gradually build up.
Yeah, that was the question I was going to ask. I was going to ask, because we're in a chair. What is a good way to get some good cardio? Yeah,
because pushing a chair is always great, but if you're doing it all day, again, you got to watch your shoulders. Bike riding is always a great exercise. Any sports that people do. What was I just going to say? But my class is also obviously another way. You want to get your heart rate up. So what can you do for a sustained amount of time that's going to get your heart rate up? Swimming, that's the other thing I was going to say. If you can get into a pool and do some aquatic work, it usually is a good cardio workout.
Awesome.
Cardiovascular disease for spinal cord injuries is the second most common cause of death. And because of that, then that's, cardiovascular fitness is something that is very, very important, especially for individuals like, this group here that above T6, our sympathetic input. Well, let's just talk about how people who have problems with their neck or their upper thoracic region, can develop, hypotension, meaning low blood pressure, deep vein thrombosis and all these complications, and also are at risk of, higher risk of, cardiovascular disease and heart disease.
And higher risk for diabetes.
80% approximately of people with, who are in wheelchairs, not just SCIs, other people in wheelchairs too, end up with non-insulin dependent diabetes because of a lack of use of major muscle groups, which are your legs. But what I was going to ask is, how do you gauge their cardiovascular fitness? I mean, is there something that you ask them to do on their own, like humming a song when they're doing their exercise? If they start getting too winded, then to bring it down. Just how to gauge it, because some of us will go like gun ho right away and start going, and then all of a sudden they're like,
and crash quickly, right?
That's Ray too. Yeah. Ray does that.
Yeah. Especially since they're doing it a lot of them are doing it alone at home.
On their own.
Yeah.
I think the scale of perceived exertion is always a good thing to use, since your heart rate's not always reliable on if you're in that cardiovascular exercise region. So when you're doing a cardiovascular workout, you should be at least a 6 out of 10. 7 would be great. If you're going up to 8, you're probably not going to sustain that for as long as you need to make sure your heart rate is up and you're going to be able to go at least half an hour, which is what you need to be able to fight that cardiac disease. So I would say on a scale of perceived exertion, try to go a 6 to 7 out of 10.
Then also, I've noticed on your website to track your progress, you guys have like little achievements people could receive. The way of, I guess it's a good way of motivating people and kind of gauge to see how well they're doing.
Yeah, because another thing is it's hard to get on a scale if you have a chair, because those scales are hard to find.
Right.
And you don't want to go to the doctor just to get weighed. So you may not know that you're losing weight if that's your goal even. So I did add a feature on my site that if you want to track your progress by how many minutes you're going without resting, or how much weight you are using, or if you're going to take a circumference, do you want to lose some belly mass, or do you want to gain some arm mass? So I added that to the site, and then you can get achievements based on if you're meeting the goals that you're setting for yourself to hopefully keep you going.
This way you could compete and talk trash to the other guy in the class, right?
You're like, hey, I might monitor that, but you can do that.
Yeah, and then you can post stuff up to rub it in their faces next time they work out.
You also mentioned stretching. Obviously, some of us cannot stretch on our own. What would you instruct these individuals who are seeking your website, and doing it, at home? Are there specific ways of stretching by themselves?
I've had people with, C5 and below stretch themselves in a doorway, which you can do in a power chair, you can do in a manual chair. And there is actually a video on my site of how to do that. And one, you're going to just be up against the doorway with like an L shape with your arms so that you can try to get that pec pulled out, and you're just turning the chair. So the chair is kind of doing your work, but you have to monitor obviously how much. You don't want to overstretch.
Especially if you're in a power chair, right?
Put the speed down for your stretching. And then the other one is with your arms straight and turning a little further so you can get the pec stretch, because those are the two main muscles that are pulling down on the scapula. And then if you really can't do this on your own, then how to direct somebody else to do the same movements for you. With stretching the legs, which is also equally as important, if you can do it with a strap on your own, excellent to do every day. And if you can't do that on your own, asking a caregiver to do that for you. And there's a video on my site for both how to do it on your own as well as how to have somebody else do it for you.
Great. I guess what I'm trying to is paint a picture to our audience that these things are available in your website, and whoever is seeking this type of training, should be logging on to it and checking out your tabs to see how it's done.
Definitely.
So you do have cardiovascular fitness there. You also have stretching. Do you do any strength fitness?
I do. I do a lot more of the one-on-one in the gym, but I also mix it a little bit into it with the online video, where I put it into sort of a boot camp style. So you're doing an exercise for whatever that day is, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, or maybe it's 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. And that's hopefully a time when you can push yourself with the weight so that you're going less time, you're recovering.
Right.
So push that strength, because it just as the cardiovascular for the cardiac disease is important. Yeah. It's also important to stay strong, because that's going to help you stay more independent longer. If you get weaker and you need to have more help doing your daily activities, that's going to impact your independence.
Now, I'm sorry.
So that is in your website is under strength fitness, right? Training.
Well, it's twofold. One would be if you sign up for the class monthly, it's intermittent. So you have the cardiovascular classes, alternating with the strength classes. And then if you come into my gym, we do more focus on strength as well. So
by the way, where's your gym?
It is in Long Beach, California. So not everybody can make it in, I understand. But if you're in the Southern California area,
Greater Los Angeles area, even some Orange County.
Oh, yes. People. call me up. Come on down.
Yeah, I had a question for you.
Go for it.
Yeah, as far as nutrition goes, because we all know exercise and nutrition work hand in hand. How do you guys give people any tips on watch what you eat or be mindful or anything like that?
I do offer a nutritional guidance program. It's based on the Eat Right program from University of Alabama, which was specifically designed for spinal cord injury. And it's not a diet plan. I do not tell people what to eat, but we go over what you are eating and how to modify that to be healthier. And the Eat Right program is 12 weeks long, where each week is a small change. So hopefully at the end of 12 weeks, you are now living a healthier lifestyle. So 1 week is about how to go food shopping. Another week is how to plan your meals. Another week is how to decrease your stress. Because a lot of times that tends to affect your diet. And so again, I'm not telling people what to eat, but I will guide you on making better choices. Not so much fried food.
Right.
Don't drink soda. No. Have some more vegetables. Very simple changes.
Less bacon.
Less bacon.
How about no bacon? So, no, I had a quick question about, when I first got into my manual chair, I was like super weak. And, I lived downtown Los Angeles, and there's a lot of ramps and hills. And I was having a lot of trouble, like I said earlier, pushing forward up some of the ramps and hills. Is there an exercise that can help with that besides just trial and error?
So you're using a lot of pecs, right? With that, the rickshaw, which is a very common machine in hospitals. Yeah, that one where you push down.
Yeah.
That's an excellent one. You can imitate that on a pulley system. So if you're at a gym that doesn't have a rickshaw, you can do the same sort of motion. So you want to do pushing, anything that's going to work your chest. Any chest press, pushing down, that's going to help you get up that ramp. And then the other thing is to work on your balance, because to get up a ramp, you're going to have to lean forward.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't have the balance to lean forward and push, or the balance to get back up to upright after you're done getting up that hill, that's the other thing they have to work on.
For those of you new in a chair, leaning forward is very important because you will be on your back.
But second most important is how to get back up from leaning forward. If you're
quad, you're just
more challenged. It's more challenging, right?
Yeah. For me, fortunately, I have my phone Velcroed to my knee, so the times that I have fallen backwards, I was able to reach my phone and call for help. But yeah, definitely work on your balance and leaning. So,
and I think that actually segues into an important point. If you foresee any difficulties that you may have when you go to a gym, because like I said, you may not have an adaptive gym near you, and you're going to go to your local community gym. If you do fall out of your chair and you're alone, you're going to have to direct the staff on how to get you up. So it's very important to know how to do that. The other thing is, what if something's not going right when you're exercising? If you are at risk for orthostatic hypotension or noctus reflexia, even if you are in an adaptive gym, you may not have a healthcare professional around who understands those. So know what the signs and symptoms are of your own body, as well as how to direct a staff member to help you relieve whatever those symptoms are before it becomes a critical situation.
That's a very important point. Dealing with specific potential complications is something that every one of us should be aware. We are responsible for our own. So we should ask, if you go to a gym, unlike yours, of course, because yours is cover all the professionally trained people there know this. But like you said, if you go to your community, gym and there's somebody out there that goes, no, yeah, I'm a certified,
personal trainer.
Ask specific questions about things. Have you had any experience with SCI? And if they go, what's SCI? You say, see ya. But going back to this, to what you, so expertly have been discussing, how often do you recommend that an individual, does some type of exercise, especially people with spinal cord injuries? I
think it's important to get your cardiovascular exercise at least 3 times a week. If you can do 4, it's even better. Strengthening at least twice a week. I would make sure that you're getting enough. That's 5-6 days of exercise.
Okay, I was going to say, can you combine the cardio and the strength in the same day? So cut it down to 3 if you include both of them, or should you She's smiling.
I don't know, man. You're cheating there.
No, I listen, I am trying to convey to our audience, the point. So she's going to tell us.
No, and I understand everybody's tight on time. So 3 days is still better than no days. So if you have to combine them, that's how you're going to get your workout, then do that. If you can, get 5 or 6 days a week of exercise, because being in a chair automatically makes you less active. It's unfortunate. So you have to make that special effort to get extra activity into your daily life. So I would recommend trying to at least spread it out. But if you can't, again, 3 days is better than no days.
No days, but no less than that. Also, I see that, there's also other type of services that you provide. Can you tell us what else do you provide? Like wheelchair evaluations and things like that?
Yeah, so I am located in Southern California, but taking the expertise that I have gained over the past 9 years of a spinal cord injury, I am willing to go to people's homes to give them therapy and do wheelchair evaluations, because I have extensive seating expertise as well. And I actually have done virtual consultations for wheelchairs.
Nice.
Because you do see a lot of people out there who,
Yeah.
and you look at their chairs and you're like,
they have no clue.
That's not good for you. It's
Right.
not maximizing your potential. So.
But how about if somebody tells you, "Oh yeah, I was evaluated when I left the hospital"?
I love my profession. Not everybody understands wheelchair positioning, and if you're not near somebody who has a good grasp on what is best for you, then you might not be in the best wheelchair. And again, in Southern California, we are lucky enough to have a community of people in wheelchairs to give advice to each other. As well as a pretty extensive professional staff out here who know spinal cord injury. But there are states where you may not know somebody for miles and you may not have that interaction or that professional who knows what they're doing, which is why push room's great also, because then you can ask the question to a forum, but again, you don't have that person nearby.
Right. It's always great to talk to people that been in a chair for many years and get that end user perspective.
Yes.
and experience. I have one more question here for you before we get close and to wrap up, but it's a two-part question. One is, how long has SCI Total Fitness been up, and what kind of response have you received from different people and your
the
members?
community?
I have been in business for almost 2 years. 1 year focusing on it as when I left my full-time job. And the response has been overwhelmingly positive. I can't be happier. My problem has been getting the word out and making sure more people know about the service. And that's what I'm focusing on right now.
Well, guess what?
I'm going to get more exposure?
Yes, you are.
Hopefully.
No, Kristen, you got to keep.
Yeah. Can we direct people to ask a therapist some questions under the comment section?
Of course. And I'm also willing to come back if people have enough questions to ask a therapist. You can also email me specifically, individually. My email is Kristin, Kristin, at scitotalfitness.com. My contact information is also on my website, which again is scitotalfitness.com.
Which is our featured website
of the day. That's right.
All right. So you guys, you heard her. Ask the questions. She will either come back or we'll get you the answers somehow. All right.
And don't be afraid to get out there. You know, that's the main thing. Get out there and exercise and move your body.
Move your body.
That's right. So in closing, we're gonna have Rich let us know where people could find us other than Pushroom.
Well, you can find us at our YouTube channel at Club Pushroom. And if you have a question, you can ask it there. I'll make sure Christian gets the question. And Boris?
And our social media website, pushroom.com.
That's right. And also iTunes. Check us out on iTunes and take us on the go. We'd like to thank Kristen once again for being part of the show. And we'll bring you guys, come back and check us out. We'll have her as a regular and give us feedback. We appreciate you guys hang with us and take good care of yourself. Till next time.
Visit her website.
That's right. Check her out. It's SCI Total Fitness. Peace out.
Peace out.
Later.
Bust a move, Richard.
Don't fall out your chair, Boris.
Nope, I stretched today.
Yeah. Good work. Christian, you were the bomb.
Oh, thank you.
That was fun.
That was good.
See you.